WWE Galaxy. It's Hazard, and welcome to XCW Recall.
Hi guys, welcome to Recall with your host, Venom. Today's episode we're talking about Kenny Hazard Chaos. And Kenny Hazard Chaos will go on to face Elucifer at Halloween Havoc 2004 for the XCW Power Championship. You know, Hazard would go on to win it, but what led up to that match is Hazard would go and hit Elucifer with a car. He should have killed this man. But hey, let's go on over and let's watch it with Hazard.
So the XCW Power Championship, which is a championship that's obviously changed and morphed into 20 different names. It's now currently the XCW Hardcore Championship. This is your first singles championship win. You were actually a tag team champion prior to this. So you obviously had a huge history in Shelbyville Backyard Wrestling prior to this, but how was it to finally win your first singles championship in XCW at the time?
Really, it's odd because, I mean, not a lot of people know this, but this was not my home in the beginning. Well, I mean, everyone knows it wasn't my home because I was still running New Age Wrestling, New Age Championship Wrestling. And, but I didn't plan on staying in XCW at all. But I seen the better pasture coming here. So, yeah, and I understood I was not a top guy here, so, at the time. So, wrestling for the, what is this guy on the phone? Right?
Chris Jones, referee, also on the phone.
But it was definitely something, it was definitely a stepping stone. I mean, one of the first major feuds we had here in XCW was me and Elucifer.
Yeah, I mean, just a couple of weeks before this show, you hit him with a car.
I was about to say, have I hit him with the car yet? It's definitely interesting.
And of all people, for you to win your first championship against, it's Elucifer, so that's kind of, that's unique. I think you're probably the only one in XCW history, but...
To beat Elucifer or just win a title from him?
Win a title from Elucifer. How many championship runs do you remember Elucifer having? Yeah, this one.
Yeah, maybe some tag team titles, maybe. He got scalped once.
He did get scalped by Psychor. So this was the era of XCW. You'd been around a year at this point. This is Halloween Havoc 04. You debuted at Halloween Havoc 03. Obviously, we barely knew each other in the early years, the first year. And he was even kind of in and out in the beginning of 2004. But by this point, we pretty much spent all of our extra time outside of the ring together. And you were really starting to come into really being a part of the XW family and always being around at this point. So how do you think things differed from a year at this point? I mean, now you're winning a singles championship, you're heavily in the mix, and now you're really kind of part of the crew as regards of like myself, Chris Jones, Cynical.
Look at that shit.
Yeah, he was a little reckless.
Little? I tried to get that damn sign away from him for 20 minutes before it got thrown at my toe. I mean, that's wrong with my toe now. But, yeah, being part of, like I said, something I didn't really plan on being a part of. You know, just...
But pretty much once we got to this point, you were not going anywhere.
No. I mean, a lot of people... You know, some of the other federations that have been around, they're not really a family atmosphere type thing. Like, here, like you were saying, you know, inside the ring and outside the ring, you were together. I mean, there's a part where Chris Jones pretty much lived with you. So.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's times where Friday night, we'd hang out till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, get up and be back over there, and I'm swinging at McDonald's getting breakfast at 6 o'clock in the morning and coming back and getting ready to do it again for the show. And then there was times we were doing shows, 2, 3 times a week?
Yeah. During this era, I think we did Wednesday shows. We did some Fridays and Saturdays. It was
the Friday shows
nonstop.
were the ones that were kind of, you're here, let's go.
Yeah.
Because Wednesdays and Saturdays were our big shows at the time. I mean...
Yeah, because early 04, the trampoline shows, we're all contested on Friday, the 3 trampoline shows, so...
God, it looks so weird.
So this was a big transition period also for Hazard at this point. You were kind of always running the character that you had always ran.
Oh, that wasn't it.
No, that was in the next show where I think he knocks you the hell out. But this is a transition period. You'd always been the tough big guy prior to this. You always played that dominating big guy character. Now, around this time, you started coming around more. You were around everybody more, and we see more of your real personality come out. And it was just, it kind of organically happened that your actual personality would come out in your character. So this was a transition period from you being that the heel dominating big guy to a more fun baby face. And we mentioned that it happened organically. Do you regret it being that, or do you think you would have been more successful if you would have kept the character, the big dominating character that you had?
You see what it all became. I mean...
by Cold Day 05, you're XCW champion.
So, yes and no. I mean, I think me finally getting a unique character out of it, as in what I was my last match here in XCW. I mean, this is all what Hazard really was. So, I think me becoming more of a, I don't want to say comedy, but I had a lot of more comedic between me and Chris Jones.
Reefer. Biggest cruiserweight in XCW. Heifer was brought up recently on a No False episode. So.
And then, even when I was heel, the hand sanitizer, the
hug
new
juice.
the new breed with me and Cynical, or Cynical grab the light. See, I've been working on my pain tolerance. You smell that? Yeah, that's my cigar.
OGD.
That did come out a lot. Oh.
So here we are. I mean, this was 18 years ago.
Don't say that. That cut me.
18 years ago, what would you give for life to go back to this time period?
I mean, I'm grateful for everything that's right here now, but those were so much simpler times. Oh my God, such simpler times. I mean, didn't have bills. Just lived.
No, I'm pretty sure about 8 months after this, you got in trouble because we were doing Summer Mania and you had to go get school clothes.
Yeah, see?
So, even these days with some of the newer crop of talent in XW, the Brady Bransons, the Brogan O'Shea's, and all of them of the world, they even have shorter matches compared to the matches that we had back then. Do you think the XCW could have matches that were as long duration as it was in the beginning years like it was here? I mean, XCW's evolved so much since then, but, I mean, you're looking at a 10-minute match already, and you guys have barely been in the ring.
That's... I think back here, it was more of a kind of do your own thing. It wasn't as
thought and planned out as
yes.
it is.
Like now, you're dead set on time frame, and we plan a lot more than we. You think me and Elucifer playing anything in this? No. No. So, I think this was good for the time frame, the era that we were in. But now I don't think this would fly. Let alone there's nothing here. Like, we're beating the shit out of each other. There's no story being told.
Although, I do think that you and Elucifer, as weird as it sounds that it's Elucifer, I think you guys were kind of the trendsetters because really we started paying attention more to being able to tell stories and incorporating promos and storylines more into what we were doing because of this very storyline. Because of, you lost the tag team titles along with him. He filled in as your tag partner. That didn't go so hot. And then the attack with the car, and now this match, and then you guys had another rematch after you win the championship here. In a way, I feel like you might have kind of changed the face of XCW with this single feud.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't planned. I mean...
No, I mean, most of it was by the seat of our pants in this time period, but... I mean, when you really look back on it now, nearly 20 years later, it was a huge step forward for us just with this single feud, that it was more about storytelling and less about just throwing punches and trying to copy moves that we've seen on TV.
Oh, yeah. Slippery little bastard.
Here we go.
I still blame you for that.
Yeah, I started laughing first. I'm not gonna lie. When you called him a son of a bitch, I lost it.
Well, I mean, this dude's supposed to be some big shot, and here he is, doesn't know how to do a freaking...
He did some of the most unorthodox, weird shit. Like, I think he was the most over wrestler when New Era was there. Like, it's so weird.
Like I'm saying, the dude can't even put you in a fucking arm bar.
Well, his girlfriend's not going to be very happy about that.
Girlfriend.
Wait, you had a girlfriend? Who's your girlfriend?
Was I dating Brittany?
I don't know. That's a little bit of insider stuff there.
Was I?
I don't know.
I didn't have a lot of girlfriends.
Now the referee's down.
Good job, dumbass.
So you got D-Mac on the outside creeping. Looks like Disciple. Our nurse, Amy. What a weird time, right?
A weird group of people.
Yeah.
Is that Zero out there too?
Probably, yeah.
You're doing camera.
Uh-oh. There it is. You won with a roll-up.
About time.
Okay, so now after you recalled this match for probably the first time in 18 years, good, bad, and different, it's your first championship win regardless.
I mean, it had, like we talked this whole time, it had some bright spots. I mean, this where my person I really came out in this match was the whole arm bar, and he doesn't know how to put one on. But the match was not good. The match was not good at all, but everything else about what happened in this time frame, this whole thing, just leave the belt there. Dumbass.
Yeah, for the time period to literally not even change the face of your character, but change the face of the entire company. This was a big match for us to recall.
Absolutely.
Welcome back, guys. It was a pretty crazy match right there, you know. Hazard going on to win that Power Championship, XCW Power Championship. But, you know, after this match, Hazard become a fan favorite. You know, fans finally caught on to Hazard, and they started liking Hazard. Hazard will go on to do many other things in XCW. But that's all we have for you today, guys. See you in the next one.